as we get set to look at the first half highlights. No matter how much stock you take in statistics from previous games of teams, you look at Michigan giving up 0 points in the first half of home games this year. Obviously, that just means you try to get out on the road and quiet that record crowd and get on the board first if you can.
Well, that's what you'd like to do, and you know, most teams really come at it at home, and especially good teams. And you know, we wanted to get out there and go right at them. We had the ball first and had that opportunity, but you know, we just didn't cash in.
You know what it is like, of course, after 8-0 back-to-back seasons in the Horseshoe. But off we go to Ann Arbor and the Big House. As we mentioned, 112,118. That's a record college football crowd.
First play of the game there, Craig found Mike Jenkins, but we did not convert, so had to punt, and almost had an opportunity there. You know, you have to make those plays. You're not going to get many opportunities against a good team. We get the football back and run a little misdirection, and Craig finds Mike Jenkins and moving the football down the field.
Yeah, Jenkins will pick up a 14 yards on that, and you back it up with another 14-yard play, this time to Santonio Holmes, who would have a big day.
Here you see Craig finding Santonio on a little underneath route, and what Santonio can do with the ball after the catch is what's exciting.
Yards after catch for him, 14 covered on that play. Another Sander punt, though, leads to a Michigan possession.
BJ did a nice job of hitting the ball up high and giving us a chance. You know, Breston's an extraordinary punt returner, and we did a fairly good job. I think he had one that got out a little bit, but for the most part, the punt game was solid.
Chris Perry, the ground game for Michigan, tough all day.
Chris Perry's a good back, and when a team has a great back and solid offensive line and veteran quarterback and receivers, you know, they're going to be tough on you. They did a nice job with the screen pass. They execute that very, very well, and a couple opportune times, that was the first down play, I think, but a couple opportune times they hit the screen well.
Perry's screen pickup of 11 back to the air for the Wolverines.
Again, when you get good receivers out there in the open, whether they be short balls or long ones, John Navarre, to his credit, was very solid.
Breaking a couple tackles there as well, and then you can always expect a reverse out of Michigan.
Well, yeah, they're a very good reverse team, and I think they gained about 6 there, and our guys are pursuing hard, and they're playing hard.
Again in the air, and again it's Braylon Edwards.
Well, Braylon Edwards does a good job, whether it's long or short, and Navarre had a good opportunity to find him. Then they sneaked Breston in there at the quarterback position on a 3rd and 3, and they got the job done. Breston's an old high school quarterback, and you know, there's a long way to go in the football game.
Absolutely. You know, Navarre's not going to run the option. Breston does, takes it in. 7-0 lead here at the end of the first quarter. We go to the second, and Perry again breaks into the secondary.
Well, Perry's a darn good running back. He made some good cuts, and their offensive line was solid. They're moving the football on us here. You see Navarre pops it over the middle to Braylon Edwards, and again, you've got to tackle those excellent receivers. And if you looked at the first half, you'd have to say we probably had more missed tackles in the first half, perhaps, than we have had in a half any time this year.
Very uncharacteristic of the Buckeyes, and back out throwing on offense again at Santonio Holmes.
Right, Krenzel with good protection. The one thing I thought our guys did a good job, especially early, was in the protection category. We ended up having to punt. They went on a little crossing route, and Breston does a nice job of making some yards after the catch. 10
yards on the pickup, and then Carl Tabb is going to haul in this John Navarre pass for a pickup of 18 yards, another first down.
Yeah, it was a good shot there by him, and again, protection is the key to the pass game, and they threw it right in there and converted.
3rd and 9 situation here for the Buckeye D.
Here we're trying to put a little bit of pressure on them, and they went up, and it's the one thing that, you know, if you watch their film all year long, they do a good job of throwing the ball up in the air and having those big guys go get it.
Big athletic receivers. That's a 14-0 game at that point, 21-0 game at that point, excuse me.
Here you see Craig doing a good job of throwing to the outlet receiver, finds Bam Childress, who moves along for a first down, and you see a little action pass that Santonio Holmes catches the football, crossing over, and you know, our guys are never going to stop playing. You can be sure of that.
Pickup of 12 there, and just to prove it, here come the Buckeyes. 11 yards complete to Mike Jenkins.
There you see a good basic play, and you know, we're moving the chains, and it was important for us to move the football down the field at this point in time. There you see Craig not able to find anyone, but what he's done so often in his career is keep the play alive and go down and give us a chance to have one more shot at it.
Big, sturdy player, so difficult to drag down there, and then he finds Santonio Holmes, a nice touch pass.
Does a good job there. Santonio does a good job when he's one up, and we get on the board, and that was an important touchdown for us. 21-7 halftime. You know, it's not in our minds anything that's insurmountable, and it gives us a chance to go in and regroup and say, okay, let's go back to work.
Plus, you score last, so momentum as you go into the break, even though you're not going to get the ball back. But 14-point deficit is something this team's not used to.
Well, not used to it, but not afraid of it either. And, you know, there wasn't any question in our locker room. We're going to go out there and we're going to do the things that needed to be done and go win in the second half. And we came up short, but I thought we kept coming out and playing.
We saw the signature screen play to Perry, and as you pointed out, a first down play. What does that do defensively when you try to mix things up and you maybe blitz on first down instead of the traditional blitzing downs, things like that?
Well, you know, I thought they did a good job of mixing up the run and the pass and the screen and the deep ball and the short ball, and that's what a good balanced offense does. And they had a little bit of rhythm and a little bit of tempo, and really I think it's your offense that concedes the tempo of a game, especially if it's clicking and making first downs with a lot of different things, and to their credit, that's what they did.
And that would be the attempt for the Buckeyes here in the second half. We'll take you back to Ann Arbor right after this break. Buckeye Football Weekly, and the Buckeyes have broken one stranglehold Michigan has had on opponents at home by scoring on them in the first half. First team to do that all season long, but still some concerns. They've scored on some long, sustained drives, which is not typical of the Buckeye defense either.
And they controlled, obviously, the tempo of the entire first half until that last drive that we had. And you know, what we needed to do was come out and needed to put an end to that and get them stopped because we were kicking off to them, and then get it back and score on them and then really go to work. But, you know, we didn't get that done, and you see in the highlights that they made some key conversions.
The glaring omission of tackling seemed to be cleaned up in the second half for the Buckeyes, and back on defense they find themselves on the very first drive of the second half, and back up top go the Wolverines, 17 yards to Edwards.
They did a good job. They found an open hole. We were zone blitzing there, and Navarre did a good job of finding the hole, and there they hit it up there on the run to Perry, and you know, he's a very, very good running back, and he got the job done for the Wolverines.
Perry 30 yards on the play. It's a 28-7 game after that touchdown, and the Buckeyes, sense of urgency here, 16 yards complete to Jenkins.
Well, again, you know, we were kind of put into a situation where we need to put it up top and couldn't show much balance, but I thought our kids did a good job hanging in there in pass protection. Look there, Craig has all day to throw, and Mike Jenkins keeps working open and makes a huge play there. And you know, Michael Jenkins once again had a big day. 40-yard catch for Jenkins down the sideline into Michigan territory, but the Buckeyes would have to punt it away, and back come the Wolverines. Now this play gets called back here. Yeah, it sure does, and we're fortunate there because that would have made life really tough. They hit a little out and up type route. They had a little extra time to throw because of the holding. We got them stopped, and we had a penalty right off the bat, and came back with a quarterback draw and got it from 1st and 20 down to 2nd and 6, which is a little bit more workable. And here Craig finds Mike Jenkins on the route, and Mike again moving down the field for us.
So Craig scrambles for 14, then hits Jenkins for 26, and that sets up this 2nd and 10 play from the 13.
Excellent touch pass there by Craig Krenzel, and threw it in there to Santonio Holmes, and all of a sudden it's a little bit tighter.
Nearly a carbon copy of Holmes' first touchdown. Like the matchup there, and he gets in the end zone. 28-14 game at this point.
Our guys did a good job of playing the screen that time. We got the ball back, and Craig had gotten banged around a little bit, and so Scott McMullen's in the game. Nice little dump off to Lydell Ross, and Lydell finds a little bit of running room.
Lydell is out for 9 yards on the completion, and then it's Ross on the ground, 5 yards and a first down.
Yeah, that's nice when we can get a little bit of a mix in there, dropping the ball off to the backs, and we go to a little bit of empty, which Scott McMullen is so good at. He finds Ben Hartsock there, and Scott's really comfortable when he's back in that pocket in the shotgun, and he can make some things happen.
13 complete to Hartsock. How about 9 more to Hartsock? This one's Hamby.
Yeah, this one's Ryan Hamby. Went to the tight end again, and Scott does a good job of spraying the ball around.
It's 28-14 game at the end of the third quarter, and you're starting to do some things offensively that you would really like to do, and it's starting to click for you.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of rhythm here, and here you see play action pass, and Scott does a good job stepping up, finds Santonio Holmes, and again, you got to be awfully proud of Scott McMullen coming in when needed and delivering. Santonio Holmes making another big play.
And yards after catch for Santonio again sets up Lydell Ross for the touchdown. 7-point game all of a sudden.
Well, that's right, you know, and a heck of a job by the guys getting things done. And then, you know, the play that we needed to happen, first they hit the little square in, then they came right back with another route here, I think, and this is the one that, is this the one Chris Gamble picked?
It is.
Yep, and right now is when we need to take over the game, and unfortunately, We didn't get that done, and you know, that in my mind is the difference of the game. We've got to punt it back. They went back to the screen, which again they're darn good at, and they moved the chains.
They do with a first down on that play, and as you mentioned, you got the ball, 7-point deficit on your 35, but the change in it is Chris Perry again getting into the secondary quickly.
Well, he was cutting back, really huge cutback, and then you see a little bit of throw to their tight end there over top, and a big 30-yard gain, which was a huge play in that drive.
Tyler Ecker on 3rd and 4, and that is a big first down pickup and back to the ground for Chris Perry.
Chris Perry wiggled through there, and we had a couple missed tackles right in the hole, and you know, you can't allow them to get that kind of movement. Here you see Scott working again. Again, our guys are never going to stop playing. You find Santonio Holmes, and you know, our guys are going to keep working to get the football down the field.
Another completion, 10 yards here to Roy Hall.
Again, Scott's nice and comfortable back there, and Roy does a nice job running with the ball after the catch, and our guys are still fighting.
5 yards complete to Holmes, gets out of bounds, saves the clock. You had to use your timeouts to stop them defensively.
Right. And, you know, the guys are doing a good job protecting up front. Here, we throw it over and it gets deflected, and you know, the one mistake, I think that may have been our only turnover of the day, and
it was.
You know, obviously at the wrong time, but you'll have to say that our guys kept playing until the final whistle.
That they did. The whistle comes. It's a 35-21 disappointing loss there. And if you look at this first and foremost, the Buckeye defense that strives and thrives on making plays behind the line of scrimmage. Not a whole lot of activity behind that line of scrimmage for negative plays for Michigan.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure they went into the game saying that they had to stay away from -yard plays, and they had to break some tackles in the backfield because we were going to penetrate, and they did do that. Perry did an excellent job of making some guys miss and getting back to the line of scrimmage and then gaining some yards. And you know, we do thrive on putting pressure on offenses, and they did a nice job of mixing it up, and we just didn't have quite the pressure on their offense that we do typically.
And you talk about this Buckeye team and the way they go out now. After this loss, difficult, but hanging your head is not going to be something you do because of the effort that this team gave on this day.
Oh, no question. Not just this day, this whole year. I thought this group of kids, led by some great seniors, have given everything we could possibly ask for. They've done some darn good things, and they need to sit back for just a moment and take a deep breath and get ready for final exams and see where the bowl picture falls and go out and make sure that you know, we end this season on a great note in a great bowl.
You brought up the seniors, and that is our next topic here on Buckeye Football Weekly. Stick around with us.